You have to fail as an athlete, because if you don't fail, you're not testing where your limits are. So an athlete that never fails is not pushing themselves hard enough every day.
We're done. Great start to the morning. We 13 kilometres, 4:51 pace, 1 hour 3 it was. Heart rate 127 average. Nice little chat, but good start to the training camp.
Yeah, so I met Jake in Boston. We was out meeting our sponsor Whoop at the time, and yeah, like I said, I just saw a lot of similarities in him as to some of my other athletes and my wife. In there, he was asking me questions constantly. He obviously knew I come from a sport background, an endurance sport, and he was just relentlessly asking me questions, to be honest. And I just thought, actually, do you know what? He's got so much enthusiasm, and he's so raw with his training that I just, on the flight home, I decided I'm going to need to reach out to this guy and just say, I'd like to help you. I don't want anything in return. I just would like to help you. And yeah, he was open to the idea, and we've been working together for a couple of months now. So it's still in its infancy, but at the moment we're just in the stage where I'm observing what he's doing and just learning how his training structure is and just inputting where I can. But yeah, it's been a good process so far.
So we're on day one of our little Club Lanzarote training camp. It's the second session of the day. He's done his steady run this morning, which I think was around 13.5 kilometres. It's just after midday. Today's Hyrox skill session is next, and we are starting off with a 10-minute ski warm-up, so we're just getting that constant exposure and practice on the ergs. So we've been throwing that in throughout the week. We're then going to go into an EMOM of sled push, sled pull, burpee board jumps, and then we've got a little workout to finish, so just breaking away from the EMOM format, where we're going to be doing a combination of lunges and wall balls. Obviously it's a new sled track, so we want to try and make it as repeatable from what we've been doing in previous weeks as we can. So we'll have a bit of a play about with it, but we're obviously trying to load it up at 202, the Hyrox load, so we'll start with that and we'll just go off field then and try and match it up to what we've been doing.
For those of you who don't know me, I come from a professional swimming background originally, and my event was 100 and 200 metre freestyle, so basically 1 and 2 minutes. When I stopped swimming, my partner and I, Reece Barclay, and at the time Lucy Charles, decided we wanted to do the most crazy endurance event that we could throw ourselves into. Ironman was the most convenient thing for us to do at the time. We was young. I think it's well documented, my journey into Ironman. For those of you who don't know, started off as an amateur and then eventually went professional, and my wife ended up being the world champion very quickly. So it was a good fit, and we've never looked back since.
Why do you think some athletes settle for being good while others push to be great or an elite level?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think the athletes who are the best do not settle for anything. They will never accept that where they're currently at is the standard that they want to be at. Even when they're the best in the world, they will look for the next thing. I see a lot of that in Jake. Obviously, I see a lot of that in my wife and the athletes that I coach. And I think you have to be that way inclined. You have to always be questioning, how do I be better at this, even if you're good at that. And you have to be obsessed with finding something more and working harder and smarter than your competition. I don't think there's a single world champion in the world that hasn't got that mindset.
All I know is the simulation's going to be hard as fuck.
So what kind of person do you think you need to be to pursue endurance sports at the highest level?
So, in my opinion, to be an endurance athlete at the highest level, it's going to be controversial for me to say this, but I think you have to be incredibly selfish, and not in a nasty way, in a sacrifice way. It's so difficult to say no to your friends and family, because endurance sport is relentless. Like, if you're missing one training session, it can take 3 training sessions to catch up. You can't do anything other than put yourself first. So you have to be relentless, and you have to be selfish, and you have to kind of build a framework where that's acceptable, an environment where you can be completely all-consuming about you and your performance and have no distractions. Other than that, I think it just takes a shitload of hard work, excuse my language, and a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to layer success on success, and patience is key.
I want you really focus on staying steady with your breathing. You want to try and be as uninterrupted as you can. One more and then turn. Good, let's go.
I can see that he has that obsession about being better and finding something to improve himself, and I just instantly thought I could actually nurture that in an endurance sense.
How's he getting on?
Tough. The sleds are harder, it's warmer. We've gone further on the burpee distance. He's struggling, but 4 weeks out, 3.5 weeks out, that's what we need. Good work, buddy. Suck it up, we'll get straight over to where the wall ball targets are.
As a coach, how do you guide athletes to find that line between suffering and growth?
Yeah, so you need to suffer to grow in any sport.
How was that? Sleds were heavy though, just a sticky carpet. Same weight as Hyrox, weight just really sticky. I don't know if it's because of the heat, because the sun's glaring on the black surface or what. It's just sticky.
As a coach, it's about unleashing the times to suffer in order to grow, but then also the really good athletes, they need telling you don't need to suffer all the time, because their desire and their motivation is so high that you could tell them to suffer every single day and they would, and eventually they would break. So I think a good coach is one that will enable them and motivate them to suffer when it's appropriate, but also hold them back when their motivation and their desire is too high and they turn into self-sabotage mode. It's a fine balance, and yeah, I think that's probably the most important thing for a coach, is to enable an athlete to unleash when they want to, but hold them back when they're being too strong.
It's just loading my back wrong at the moment.
Yeah.
No need, we're just doing dumbbells.
No, I agree. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14,
15, 16, keep it up, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24,
Tough, well done. Good session under the belt, that.
I've got to fill up my drink and then I've got to sit over there.
As a now retired pro athlete,
Yeah.
what lessons have you learnt the hard way
Yeah.
that you would want to pass on to the next generation of athletes who think they want to be the best?
Yeah. Okay. So, the lessons I've learned for myself, obviously hindsight is one of those things. Everyone wishes they had hindsight. The only thing you can do as a coach is to say from my experience, but the truth of it is athletes will learn best the hard way for themselves. And you can give them all the advice in the world, but sometimes if they don't listen and something happens, that's on them. And I'm not saying that's the best way to learn, but sometimes that is the only way they will accept what you're telling them.
Got 45 minutes on the bike, sweatsuit on, just nice and steady, just sweating it out.
Of course, there comes to a lot of trust with an athlete and a coach relationship, and silly things like don't go for a long run after you've done a long travel. They will probably accept that. But if they're truly motivated, for example, to go and do a race which perhaps doesn't fit into the calendar, I don't think as a coach you should or ever stop them, even if you think it's a terrible idea. You can voice your opinion and say, I don't think this works. But if the athlete is that motivated to do something like that, I think it's not the coach's place to completely stop them from doing that. You can always say, I told you so afterwards. And I think, again, that will annoy the athlete into not making the same mistake twice. And basically what I'm saying is, in hindsight, the lessons I would learn don't make the same mistakes that I have done in my career. But in doing those mistakes, I learnt so much from them and didn't repeat those mistakes. So in a roundabout way, I think you need to learn from your own mistakes, but also listen to your coach and your team around you.
So it's okay to fail, but as long as you take something from it.
You have to fail. You have to fail as an athlete, because if you don't fail, you're not testing where your limits are. So an athlete that never fails is not pushing themselves hard enough every day.
Let's go.
Are you like after a time, or just have no idea on that track? Like,
No, I'm not after a time.
just the feeling.
How are you, mate?
Good.
Right over a minute.
Do you reckon I do 1200s? So, recovery score today is 70%. Ready, Tom? Right, John, I don't know if you want to set me off. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Let's go, Jake.
A little bit slippery on the surface.
Settle in.
mid on the ski, and then I'll be into run number 2. So nice steady start. He's looking strong, to be fair, as always on the ski erg. We're 7:30 in, slightly longer runs today. Back to me again. 3 laps, let's go.
On the mat.
Yeah, on the mat, give me fine. Good, it's good, everything's going well. It's going to be a tough one. It's a bit slippy, we're running further. It's just about putting him through it today. And you know, sometimes it's good to do an 80% sim, sometimes it's good to do an 120% sim, and that's what we've landed with today. So it'll be good for him to put his body through it. He's running, looks great, he looks smooth, and then it's just a case of getting the workout done essentially. I'm going to go round it, yeah, do like a little loop. Late 10s, yeah? Over that front like we've been practicing anyway.
Still slipping.
Yeah, I know mate, just got to under jump a little bit.
Trying to stay positive in his thoughts, I think, is probably the biggest thing at this stage. Sneak that little bit more out of him in that first half of the race. You know, even if he's only a minute and a half behind, Yeah.
then you're thinking, well, he could.
So is it like you break it down? Where's he losing? Is it losing a bit on each up until that point, or is there a distinct
I think,
area?
like you said, it's just a bit on each. I wouldn't look at any station and be like, it's that,
Yeah.
or the run, or it's just a little bit on each. 20 to 30 seconds, 20 to 30 seconds, 20 to 30 seconds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nice, Jake. This is your strong bit of the race now. Stay smooth. Yep. Good work, mate. Yeah, there we go. Settle 1, 10, 11, 12. $65, $66, $67, $68, $69, $70. Come on, dig in now. $71. This is it, mate. Come on. $72, $74, $75. 25 to go, mate. Come on. Big push, man. Let's have it. 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 89, come on, 90, 91, 94, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, come on, 97, 98, 99, oh.
1 hour 21 seconds.
Just about a minute slower than last week, with lots more running and
not easy
less than ideal situation. Well done. Good work.
No, thank you guys for supporting. Needed that this morning. Thank you.
Squat form's unreal on that. What you'd have that tight hips.
Apart from last 40.
Nah, you're spot on.
But no, thank you. It makes it easy when you've got a team of supporters at 7 AM on a Friday morning. I don't have to do any work.
How you feeling?
Alright. Burpees are just tough, man.
You had to you had to stabilise yourself that slippery surface every time.
So we averaged a 6-minute K throughout the full thing.
Oh, wow.
So 10.07 kilometres. So I ended up running 10.07 kilometres at 1 hour 21. So 6-minute Ks. Chilled session. Oh, warm as well. Feels good running on a track. I think I'll keep the sims going forward on a treadmill though. Just like it. Like, kicks your ass into gear. Like when you're running around the track, like you start off, you're like 355, 350, then you go down to like 340. So probably average like 340, like when I get going, but which needs to be 330 really. But yeah, when I get down, I'm like clipping along, and it's 3:40.
Did it take you like a lap to get into it, or half a lap?
Depends on the exercise. Like, I was straight into it after like farmer's carry, but like sled, pull, and push, like it took me. Yeah, and burpees. Yeah, burpees definitely.
See you breathing after the burpee. Nah, mate, that's quality. Scoreboards.
Yeah, more burpee practice.
His motivation is sky high. He will do anything he has set in training. He will run across Iceland if you told him to. He literally has. But I think structure in Hyrox and taking it a step back to a base build peak phase is probably something that's just not really in the vocabulary of the Hyrox athlete at this stage in time. When you speak to an endurance athlete coming from a triathlon background or cycling, running, swimming, that's just second nature. They would have a base build peak for a given competition. When I spoke to Jake and asked him what you base building peaking for, he didn't really have that in his vocabulary. So just in the rawest sense, I think that is probably the fundamental basics that Hyrox athletes perhaps aren't doing at the moment. But there's so much more than that, like cutting edge science of endurance sport, be it heat training, altitude training, concurrent training. There's all these different methods that I think is just mostly untapped in endurance athletes as a whole, let alone Hyrox athletes. So hopefully that's what I bring to the table. So like introducing cycling to Jake has been like his most simple basic thing, but if you train 10 hours a week, super hard, you're still not going to be as aerobically developed as someone who trains not quite as hard 20 hours a week. It's just simple physiology. Like, of course you don't do 20 hours of zone 2 training and expect to do well in a Hyrox competition, but likewise you can't do 10 hours of zone 4-5 training and expect to have the most developed aerobic system. I think it's just changing the framework and flipping the training slightly to enable a balance of the two.
What we're going to talk about if we're not talking about Tommy and Another.
It's the only thing we talk about, isn't it? Especially when he's away.
Essentially 2 full weeks now, aren't we, before race week?
Yeah.
Are you going to do 2 more sims, 2 more threshold sessions within that period of time before we get to the deload week the week before?
Yeah, I think the
And just stick with that Monday Friday split, roughly. I think that works.
yeah, I think we do 2 more sims. Okay, so we're going to start our session. We've got a buy-in of 200 meters burpee broad jumps. The aim is to build volume and get good at burpees, basically. That's what this whole session is about. So that's a buy-in. And then we've got a 30-minute meet course. Minute 1, 15 burpees to plate. Minute 2, 15 calorie row. Minute 3, 15 calorie ski. Gonna go around for 10 rounds, and then we might have a buyout of some more burpees. John's here just to show me up at burpees. Here he is.
Hey Tom.
You said you were going to smoke, Jake, earlier.
Well, he is. He's a burpee master. He's literally been doing CrossFit all his life.
And you'll see on the video, I'm probably just going to do like 9 cals on the ski and run, and then just look dead fast on the burpees. Winning, you've got to win smart, haven't you, Tom?
We're just going to go there and back, yeah?
Yeah.
It's painful. It's gonna be like 10 minutes. I don't know. It might be like 3 minutes for you, but it's gonna be about 10
horrible
minutes.
for me, mate.
Because if you think we
Straight
normally
in
do
cold dog.
80 meters normally takes around 3 minutes, 3 minutes 10.
Yeah.
We've got 200 meters to
Yeah,
do.
there's people
there
do it
and
in
back.
like 1 minute 20, don't they? So you just got to look at that.
So
And we're
basically,
fresh.
we're going to be doing 10
We're
minutes
fresh.
of burpees. Slow and steady wins the race, I say.
We'll see.
I'm ready. Oh. 5 minutes 55. Oh, horrible that, Tom.
Miko's next, 30 minutes. Ski, row. Jake's gonna go the order that I want it, which is row, ski, and then burpees, and I'm gonna go ski, row, and then burpees. I don't know if it makes it harder or easier. It's probably not much in it. And then we're gonna hit the burpees on the final minute.
You're gonna ski, burpees, and row.
I'm gonna go.
Like
You're gonna go there. So they were both doing burpees at the same time.
All right, is that what you want?
Yeah.
Right.
So having a pace is common as well. So obviously Jake's running a marathon soon. So Jake's got someone who's comfortable running the pace that he needs to hit for his 2:19. So it's common practice as well to draft people in for a workout, for a very specific part of the workout as a pacer. So naturally as humans, especially when you're very competitive like Jake, you will fall into someone else's pace rhythm, and it's actually what some people do in a comp in the Hyrox, what makes them come unstuck. But in training, this is going to be a way of bringing Jake just to a different rhythm, a different flow, rather than what he's used to. With Hyrox, with the burpees, you end up grinding a lot because you're already knackered by that point and it's quite a long way. So what we're trying to do today is just bring his rhythm up a touch, and that's the idea of me going against him, or working alongside him, should we say. 3, 2, 1, let's go. For anyone who's wondering, by the way, what's the difference just between like an average fit person like me and someone like Jake? It's that volume. Like, you can keep up for 20 minutes, 15 minutes, but they keep going. What they do in the first 15-20 minutes is not that remarkable, but what is remarkable is the fact that that's the same pace that they do in the last 15 minutes, and that's where I really notice the difference. Years of training, like just dropping my volume down way less than someone like Jake. So if you're at home and you're training 6 to 8 hours a week and you're stressing about why you can't hit like maybe the levels of Jake, it's probably just a volume thing. He's doing 20 plus hours, like, and that really shows once you get past that 15 to 20 minute mark. That's where I really feel like, you know, he just keeps going at the same pace, which is super hard.
I've always liked athletes that like to prove people wrong, and Jake for sure has the potential to run 2:19. I have no doubt. When he asked me that question, I said, yeah, absolutely, when do you want to do it, rather than no, this is not going to be possible. He asked me the question, I said absolutely, of course you can. I was honest with him. I said it would require a slightly different, or a pretty drastic different approach to the Hyrox training you're doing. 2:19 is a serious time. Like, that is elite, getting on for elite level running. So there are physiological changes that will need to happen for Jake to achieve that time. But from a purely athletic and mindset point of view, I have absolutely no doubt Jake can run 2:19, if not quicker. Yeah, so 2:19 is a serious goal for any runner, even if you're an elite runner from a running background. Purely from a physiological standpoint, it's extreme. That said, I think the biggest barrier for Jake to achieve that time would be himself, and by that I mean mentally. It's a grueling training program to do that, and burnout is a real thing. I don't think that is likely with someone like Jake. I think more likely, if something was to derail him, it would be injury. And that's not failure. I think you shouldn't train to be injured, but when you're trying to achieve something that is on the outer limit of your physiological capability, at some point you may find that limit. And for Jake to run 2:19, he's putting his body through something that he's never done before. He's taking 10 minutes off of an already incredibly good marathon time. It is extreme. He may find his limits, but if we can navigate through that the next 18 weeks and he doesn't get injured, he stays mentally sharp, I have all the confidence that he can achieve 2:19.
So this morning we've got a track session. We've got 20 by 400 metres, splitting it up into 2 lots of 10 by 400 metres with 2k float in between. This is going to be the first threshold session outdoors. Normally just do it on a treadmill, so we'll see how it goes. Just getting used to it. Yeah, marathon pace. Just do it. 3, 2, 1. Ten reps done. Now we're just going to jog for 2 kilometres the other way around the track, and then get into the final 10. Yeah, it's a bit too fast. 1:15 on that one. Warm. more effort coming up. It's been a good session. Really enjoyed it, to be fair. In the sun. Can't beat it. Average pace of each 400 was around 1:16, which was a little bit faster than anticipated. I was aiming for like 1:18 to 1:20, but feeling good. Right now, I think we're just gonna go get breakfast. But yeah, good session. 14 kilometers in total. It's all right for 8 o'clock on a Monday morning.
Athletes from all sports, all the time, do have injuries because of the very nature of what you're doing. You're trying to find where the limit is, and inevitably, sometimes you will step over that line. If you don't get to that line, you're not training to your full potential. I'm not saying that you should strive to be injured because you've trained really hard, far from it, but in trying to get to your physical limit, sometimes you'll be nudging on that, okay, you found your limit. And that's where training smarter and obviously having a team around you and monitoring everything comes into it to try and mitigate that. But ultimately, the athlete, when they are injured, it can feel like failure. And from my perspective, yes, it is devastating, but it's also part of the package of being a professional athlete, and it's never the end of the world. There is always another start line, even when it feels like it's a long way off, or the injury could take a year to rehab a broken bone or something like that. That's devastating, but there's always another start line.
And through those times, how did you endure?
So those are the times where you have to have the most endurance, but it's a different type of endurance. It's mental endurance. It's belief, it's faith. It's faith in knowing that you will get back there. It's belief in your own body's capability of recovering from whatever it is you're facing and then getting back to where you were. It can feel like the most arduous, longest process of your life, and also for the team around the athlete it can feel devastating because they're in a state of depression at that time, and it really is literally their life taken away from them. That, you know, from everything from a hormonal level to a sleep disturbance pattern, everything gets thrown out of tilt when an athlete is injured, and that has a knock-on effect on everyone around them. But I think it's like learning. I think once you've had one injury and you've bounced back from one, the next one's never as bad. But yeah, the first injury particularly can be really, really hard on the athlete.